Hello and welcome to Microsoft Hates Greg. My name is Greg Deckler, and today we're going to be talking about, well, basically, I made this video on conditional formatting bugs in Power BI Desktop. And apparently, it struck kind of a nerve because I got like 10 comments on like 62 views, right? And I'll take comments, over views any day, man. I love getting feedback on stuff that I put out there. So. You'd be really embarrassed to have like a channel that like gets like thousands of views on a video, but gets like one comment or no comments, right? I'd much rather have the comments than the views. So this apparently this struck a nerve with the community. People were like, conditional formatting is the most time-consuming things I run across in Power BI, which is hard to explain to a stakeholder why coloring rework would take multiple hours. Right? But that's true, man. It's such a pain. But the one that struck my attention was this Mr. Bardis 1. I switched to using measures for conditional formatting wherever possible, but so now the example that I gave was using a gradient, right? So I said, oh, I agree with that 100%. It's just that when you want a gradient, that's typically not exactly feasible without some major work. Now I said that, and I didn't know how much major work it was going to be. So I'm like, huh, I should try it with and see how much work it actually is. So that's what I did. So we'll take a look at it here. Here we go. So this is the same one that I was using, I think, in the conditional formatting bugs. This conditional formatting right here for this measure, conditional formatting, background color, it's using the gradient, right? And it's using the lowest value to the highest value. Now in the example, I added a middle color. I haven't quite worked that one out yet, but I have worked out a measure that can simulate this. And you can see here, this is pretty much the same colors as over here. So, but I can simulate it. And if I go to conditional formatting of the measure, background color, you can see it's set to field value and it's set to a measure of gradient. So this is a measure that I created in here called gradient. So let's take a look at how easy or hard this is. So here is the code. Big drum roll. Brrr. There you go. It scrolls, right? So let's take a look at the code. So no, it's not easy. It's fairly straightforward, but not exactly easy, what I would say. So what I start off doing, classic no calculate, right? I create my table bar where I summarize all my dates by my month, and then I include my measure, right? And I do that so that I can grab the next two steps is I can grab the min of that and I can grab the max of that. So I grab the minimum of the measure value and the maximum of the measure value because that's going to define like my gradient colors. Like the minimum should be the minimum color, right? And the maximum should be the ending color of the gradients, right? So then I'm going to calculate a denominator of max minus min. We're going to use that later. So then I define my red. I call them like min, yeah, R min and R max for red min and red max. It's really like the starting and ending colors. So you can see the min are my starting colors. So my min is a red of 0, a green of 184, and a blue of 170. And then my ending colors are a red of 253, a green of 98, and a blue of 94. Okay, so then I can grab my measure, right? Um, and then I can do red equals and this is just basically what you're seeing for red, green, and blue. It's just interpolation, right? So it's a big long formula, but really what it's doing is interpolating. So taking my measure minus my min measure, divide that by the denominator, and I multiply it by my R max. And then I do the same thing. It's 1 minus the measure minus the min divided by denominator, and I multiply it by R min, right? So it's just interpolation is what I'm doing there. So I'm interpolating the red, the green, and the blue between my starting values and my ending values. Okay, so then the major part of this is I have to then convert it to hexadecimal. Now I'd written a decimal to hex. I'd written that Excel function equivalent a long time ago during COVID. So basically what you're seeing here is that same formula played out, essentially one time for red, one time for green, and one time for blue. And so if the red is less than 1, I'm going to give it a value of 0, 0, which is so. And then otherwise I have to convert it into hexadecimal. I have to make sure that if the length is equals 1, that I add a 0, I prepend a 0 onto it, right? So if it ends up being that the formula comes out and says, oh, I'm using F, right, for the red. I needs to be 0F, right? Not just F. Otherwise, that's going to screw everything up. Trust me, I tried it, and it does. Anyway, so let's go down here to, so just do that 3 times, one for each color, right? And then I can just concatenate the results together with a hashtag in front of them for R hex, G hex, B hex. And there you have it. We have a measure that can basically emulate the same colors. I mean, it's pretty accurate. Now, the only unfortunate thing is like I'm not sure how to get a third color like in the middle. I'd have to, I'm sure I could figure that out. Because basically what it would be, I would have to get the midpoint of the value for the measure, right? And then I would either based upon whether I'm above that midpoint or below that midpoint, then I would interpolate between the middle color and versus the end color, right? My starting and value colors would change and which one I would be interpolating from. So I'll probably give that a shot and make another video on it. The last thing I wanted to try, and I think I had an issue, but I created I was like, the only issue with this, right, is that if I have this and I have to replace my measure 2 places, right? Once in the table bar and then once in the measure bar, in order to get this to work with a different measure. So I thought I could create maybe a calculation group and get around that. And I think I made a mistake when I was testing this. I'm gonna, yep, there it is. So I replaced my first measure right there, and I can put my second measure right here. I don't think this is going to work. I don't think you're going to be allowed to conditionally format. So I basically have a calculation group, and it has a single calculation item in it, is what I have. So it's called CF measures is my calculation group name. And so let's go ahead and give this a shot. I don't think this is going to work, but let's try it out together. Initial formatting, background color, field value. Now calculation groups do show up, and then but it won't let me select it. Yeah, I don't, and the question becomes is why do they show up if they're not going to let you use them, right? So why even bother? They're just cluttering up the screen. So I would consider that, yes, yet another bug in Power BI, right? In terms of these, if you're not going to allow people to use calculation groups in conditional formatting, then don't display them because they're invalid. So that is, I would consider that a bug. So, but I'm sure Microsoft would be, no, Greg, these are not bugs. These are features specifically designed to frustrate the hell out of end users, right? I mean, because nothing, they're specifically designed by design, right, to frustrate the hell out of users because nothing in Microsoft ever does is a bug. It's all by design. So that is all I had for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.